Hey guys, what's going on?
Hey.
This is Fuze Unbothered, brought to you by
right.
Upfront and Personal with the Jam again.
You know what I'm saying?
Jasmine.
Hey guys.
Baby Akin's here. I'm Madichi. How's it going?
I'm good.
You seem so excited.
You've been super excited lately, Maddie, to tell us the secrets. Let's understand.
She's-
It's God.
She's really enjoying the holiday.
It's God and God alone.
The holiday glow is all over you.
Wow.
All right, guys, we have a whole lot to gist you guys. You know how it is. But today is going to be more of a very, very conversational and interactive topic that we would also want you to join the conversation online. But before we delve into it, stay with us. We'll be right back after this commercial break. It is CP's Unbothered, brought to you by Upfront and Personal.
I used to care for the world's opinion. I used to fear their rejection. I used to beg for validation. And I used to wait to be seen. But the fire that burned in me was hotter. And the passion that lived in me had a voice of its own. So I stopped waiting and started to act. I stopped fearing and started to live. And when they thought I'd fail, I stepped into my power.
Because my time is now.
Amstel Malta, be your best.
Fuze Unbothered.
Welcome back to Fuze Unbothered, brought to you by Upfront and Personal. So today we are going to be talking about independence. We're not talking about country independence. We're talking about independence as a young adult in your teenage or maybe your youth age. You know what I'm saying? Like
Your adult age.
your adult age, or young adult age. There's always like this young adult and there's adult. You know, the young adult is when you can still like get assistance without feeling reluctant to ask.
Yeah.
But when you are adult, to ask is a shame. Do you understand? So now we understand that at some point as a young person, doesn't matter the gender, a guy or a girl, staying with your parents, at some point you begin to feel very inconvenient.
Yes.
It feels like a whole lot of misunderstanding are based on the fact that you're still subjected to
Their rules and
their rules and regulation because you're under the roof and all that. So we want to talk about when is the right time, when should you leave the comfort of your parents' house? When is that time to get to the streets? Not like get and be roaming on the street, but like, you know, like move out of your parents' house as a guy or as a lady. But I will start with sharing my experience.
Okay.
All right. I remember my dad used to tell me that he left. You know how your parents would tell you, do you know when I left the village? My pops would
they all carried face.
Yeah, my pops would
Nobody carry last
No, never. My pops usually rang it in my head that I left the house. He left the house when he was like a teenager. I think he was 14, 15. He would always say how he left, you know, the beautiful city of Ibadan to come to the hustling city of Lagos to first stay with his uncle and all those times and all that before he eventually got a clerk job and got an apartment and all that kind of stuff. But they would never tell you that it was not easy for them to leave, that their parents didn't just agree on. It was not a walk in the park. You get me? So when it was my time to leave, I even left in style. At first, you know how guys are very, 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 very easy to, you know, relate when it comes to staying with each other and all that. So it started with, I'm just going to crash in some of my guys' place one by one. I crash here this week. I crash there the next week. I crash there. Or maybe anytime I'm staying out and it's really late and I know I don't want to stress my folks to come open the door and all those kind of stuff, I'll just crash outside. So this was going on for like 2-3 years thereabout. Sometimes I will not come home throughout the weekend. I think I was still in Polytechnic. Then I was still in Gabatech before I eventually moved to Unilag. And I remember that it was only my mom that was always worried because she was already suspecting that I didn't wear this clothes leaving.
And
when I'm coming back, I'm coming home with another outfit. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
I should not come here. I don't know.
What's the meaning?
But like you just bought this clothes.
Oh, okay.
And I'll be like, no, like I had some outfit, in my guy's place and all that. So it was a gradual process and all that. Then one day I just casually just chipped it in that I'm trying to get an apartment. I remember vividly my father's response, like, no, make sure you need to finish school. That's not your priority right now. Finish school, get a sustaining job. And which I understand where he was where he was coming from and what he was driving at. But I mean, I felt like we were having a whole lot of misunderstanding from, my pops wanted everybody to like go to church together and all this kind of stuff. And at some point I was not having it. I was not having it at some point. And that was really causing a lot of issues. And it was not easy. And somehow I didn't get an apartment. At first, it was squatting. In fact, it was squatting for like 2 years. I had to stay with a friend. You get me? And it was not like, Alpha, bro, let me squat with you. It was like, I don't stay. You guys just discovered that, you have literally started staying and paying bills. And you're literally, so, I mean, and when it got to the time when I had to like, start making some cheese here and there and could afford an apartment, then I told them and all that. They were like, are you sure? How can you do it? How will you sustain? I was like, don't worry, I would find my way. I've been on these streets for a long time. But why you now stay on your own?
That's what people always say. Don't try it.
See, as much as you think that, when you're independent, the freedom is very, very, it's exclusive, it's very interesting. It's just bills, it's just freedom and bills. But I mean, when do you think it's okay to leave? And when do you think is no longer okay for you to still be staying with your parents?
Madisha, do you want to go
first? For me, I think there's a knowing, like you just wake up and discover that, okay, it's time. Some people have it as triggers, like your parents start annoying you, like they do things and you just start getting offended at the slightest things. While some people feel like, okay, after uni, after service, going back home seems like
it seems off.
Especially when you have like your friends who are already staying on their own. So you're just triggered to, okay, I want to leave the house. But at the same time, I feel like it is more understandable for the male gender. Like, do you see an 18-year-old standing up to her parents and saying, I want to leave the house? Especially,
that's because of the society we find ourselves. It doesn't make you right.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it right for the parent to allow the son who is 18 to move out, for instance, and not let a girl who's 18 to move out. If you're sure that this your child is mature enough to stand on his or her own, by all means, let them.
Because you're going to be asked questions like, okay, how do you intend to sustain yourself financially? Yeah. How do you intend paying your bills?
For me, I feel like I feel like the right time is once you're financially stable. Saying financially stable, no, because see, my dear, bills go to come.
Some people don't wait.
Like Abby and I said the other time, it feels like we're all created to just pay bills and die. You never rest. Do you understand?
The last time I slept was when I was in daycare. I slept without worries.
Do you understand? So like, I feel like the best time is when you're financially stable. I'm not saying you should have should be a
but you have something that is, there's an inflow.
Yes. But at the point where you can't stand your parents, there's some people that can't stand their parents. Like,
and they just leave.
of basketballs. They just want to.
And the way you say go now, the same way prodigal son take vest, come suffer, come back out. You understand? I really go happen to.
But why do you think? But let's not. I want us to be very, very realistic. Why do you think it is very difficult for parents to let out their children, especially the female gender?
Because they still see us as their children.
Yeah.
Okay. Even if you're 50 years old, my grandma still sees my mother as her child.
Yeah.
My
which is what it is.
My grandma still insult my mom till tomorrow as her child. You get me? So it's gonna always happen, yeah. But I feel like the point where you should not still be in your parents' house see, if you don't get married, you should stay in your parents' house. Mm-hmm. Like that should be the point where you should know that something is doing you. Okay. There's some guys that are actually
some people get married.
Some people are overly attached. They are so attached to their parents that they don't want to leave. The least they can do is stay in the same compound, like probably stay in the same platform.
No, there's something wrong with you.
All right, you know what? We'll be right back after the short commercial break to still talk about the topic. Stay with us. It's Fuze Unbothered.
I used to care for the world's opinion. I used to fear their rejection. I used to beg for validation. And I used to wait to be seen. But the fire that burned in me was hotter. And the passion that lived in me had a voice of its own. So I stopped waiting and started to act. I stopped fearing and started to live. And when they thought I'd fail, I stepped into my power.
because my time is now.
Amstel Malta. Be your best.
Fuze Unbothered.
Welcome back to Fuze Unbothered, guys, brought to you by Upfront and Personal. We were just talking about some of the reasons why parents would not easily allow their children to just, leave their house, like get their own place and all that. But I also want to talk about the one of the most realistic reason for the female gender is that, in some sort of way, the society sees it as some level of some level of rebellion if a lady just leaves. No, come on, that's like
they make it sound like it's
like
an abomination.
they see it as some sort of rebellion if a lady just start
and then
staying
make it
on her
like,
own.
oh, a man will not want to come to you.
Do you understand that there's some level
for sure,
of?
you're sweet
But I feel like times have changed, and that narrative has been proved wrong over time, and all that. And I want to really put this out there because I have a lot of female friends that tell me, no, don't get it twisted, all right? Don't trip. You don't get to leave your parents' house. You don't get to be independent. Like it's a walk in the park. There's going to be a lot of arguments. It's a process. There's going to be
freedom
a lot of arguments.
Freedom is not given, it's taken.
Do you understand? So if you say you want to leave, if you plan your life in some sort of way and you say, oh, once I get a good job, I want to now move out and all that, they can start to guilt trip you that it's now you have a good job that we are thinking you sort out some bills in the house. That you now
I'll pay your education
do you
fee,
understand?
primary, secondary, university.
It's easier said than done, but you're going to.
I'm saying,
sometimes you get cold silent treatment from your mom or your dad or your stepmom or your stepdad and all that kind of stuff and all that. I just needed to let people know that it's really never easy, especially for the female gender. But let's put an age. Let's put a number in terms of age to when you feel like, oh, at this age, a lady or a guy should actually start staying alone or leave the parents' house.
Between 26, from anybody. For the male, anybody actually. I feel like from age 24 upwards, you are of the age to leave alone. Now, some would say 21, but not really.
I was going to say 21 because some guys would have been done with school and probably started working. And if you feel it's time, it's time.
Now, being done
abroad, 16, 17, you can stay alone.
But still, they are those abroad children, they are still dependent on their parents sometimes.
Somehow, and they have support from the government. And
even as they are staying on their own, don't even compare us with abroad.
That's it. That's not try. I understand.
But Madichi, put an age to it.
21 for the male, 24, 25 female. I have to leave.
I think I agree with that. When you're 24, 25, you develop this, you're beginning to shape yourself into the personality you want to become as an adult. And you definitely would not be taking some things from your parents lightly. You would literally be communicating with them as an adult. And they would really not see you as an adult when you're still in the comfort of their own shelter. I feel like that as much as they would try to be very pop culture and very understanding and try to communicate with you and all that, so far you're in the same space with your parents, there would be, you're human beings cannot live together without disagreements, conflict and all that. So by the time you begin to have conflict,
we are from two different generations. So now we are seeing things differently from
when you're having conflict,
what they're used to.
I was having so much conflict that time that I was just narrowing it down to the fact that Shebi, it's because I'm seeing your house. That's why.
Most parents don't want their kids, not necessarily because they feel they are not financially stable enough, but that bond. I feel like we don't understand. Maybe because we have kids.
We're going to experience it too when we have kids.
Probably don't understand now.
Yeah,
I feel like
we're probably going to experience it. But I feel like it is very wrong for you to be comfortable as a man. All right.
Oh, as a woman, I'm sorry.
I really need to even say for my gender that if you're 25, 26, all right, and as at then, probably you don't have a very high income inflow. You know, guys usually pair up and get apartments, shared apartments, or we get 2-bedroom, you stay in one, you you don't need to stay in the uptown place. People usually, you don't start from somewhere. All right. The truth about it is, if you hear
squat, even if it's not convenient.
do you understand? You can squat.
Actually.
And the truth about it is, you discover more about yourself in terms of discipline.
Yes.
Responsibility when you are not answerable to yourself.
Yes.
Because you now know that, it's my actions that brought this circumstance and all that. So I cannot blame it on anybody. It's me.
And this is regardless of the financial status of your parents. So
Regardless,
feel like,
regardless,
my father has money, so I'd rather just chill.
Do you understand? So when you were in school, you stayed alone for a while, so you dealt with all that. So I feel like for a guy, 25 is you should begin to feel uncomfortable. Like what are you doing? Well, except you are the only child. That's the only exception I can say that, maybe because of you understand, your attachment and the circumstance around your family, that, maybe you have to stay for. Okay, that being that, if you want to join the conversation and share what age you think it is okay for you to now be independent and leave the comfort of your parents' house, you get what I'm saying? Join the conversation on YouTube. Fuze Fuze1, the number 1 on YouTube. Kindly subscribe, turn on the notification, and tell us what you think is the right age to leave your parents' house, and tell us what your own experience, if you are still there, or if you have left. Do you understand? And also join the conversation on Instagram, Fuze Local on Instagram, FUZELOCAL on Instagram. This is where we have to go. Jasmine, you had fun?
Yes, I did.
Madichi?
I did.
This is where we have to leave. Don't forget to link up with us on social media. Instagram, it is AB_AKYNZ.
Don't forget to link with me on Instagram as well at The Real Jasmine Rapper.
And link up with me at _Medici. Until next time, stay fused.
Upfront and personal, world-class business, world-class consultants.